Can I start a side business while working full-time? Yes, you can start a side business while working full-time, and today I'm going to show you how. In this video, I'm going to show you a very little-known niche, highly profitable, that you can start on the side while you're still working at your job. You can do it legally, you can do it effectively, and you can start the income coming in so that then you can leave your job. And be sure to stay on till the end, because at the end, I'm going to give you access to a free resource to help you get started and learn more about how to actually do this in your life. As a lawyer, I can tell you there's generally no problem with starting a side business. Unless you have an employment agreement that says you can't, which would be unusual, there's no problem with starting a side business. You can do it. Just make sure that you get your work done, and then in your spare time, which we all have, then you're going to start your side business. And for most people who want to start a side business and hopefully grow it into something that you could replace a job, that's a great way to escape the rat race. Because let's face it, who doesn't want to get out from under a boss, not have to work with annoying coworkers, and have control over your schedule? Once upon a time, I was in a corporate job, and it was dreadful. I'd leave for work at 7 in the morning. I'd get back at 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. The only time I had to myself was weekends. And I can tell you, it's possible to get out of that, and you can have a much better quality of life, and your earning potential is unlimited because you don't get paid what someone else thinks you're worth. You get paid what you earn because of what you create. So side business is great. So what do you think about if you're thinking about a side business? Well, I think you need something you can effectively start on the side, one where you don't have to hire employees that you need to supervise, you don't need to budget for them, you don't need to rent out real estate to operate in, you don't need to buy a franchise or anything like that. Instead, look for a business that you can do in your spare time, that you can do on nights and weekends and odd hours, because that may be the time you have available when you're working a regular job. Also, look for something you can do from home, where you don't need to go out, meet with people or anything like that, because it can be tough to leave work in the middle of the day to do that. So I found a business that is really ideal for this. I want to tell you about this business, and I want to talk about how it checks all the boxes so that if you're thinking about this business or anything else, you can know the way to think about it. So the business I do is called Overages. What it involves is when properties are sold at a foreclosure auction, either a mortgage foreclosure because someone didn't pay their mortgage, or a tax foreclosure because someone didn't pay their real estate taxes. When that property gets sold at the auction, when it sells for more than the tax debt that's due or more than the mortgage, then that extra money is available for the former owner to claim. The problem is that most former owners have no idea there could be any money available because they think they sold my house, so they must keep the money. That's not true. I can tell you as a lawyer that what is true is that they sold your house, so yes, you have to pay for the cost of the auction, like advertising, you have to pay the debt that's due, but that's it. Anything above that, you can go put a claim in for. Most people don't know, they never claim the money. The state of Maryland did a study of this over 3 years, and they found that over 70% of the time, the money was never claimed, it just forfeited to the state. That's more typical. So most of the time, people never, ever get the money. So you can make a business out of this like I have. What I do is I get the list of people that are owed money. You can see the list on your screen. This is a list from one county in America. There are 3,000 counties. So there are plenty of these lists out there. So we get a list just like this one. This is a real list you're seeing. And it tells you the person, the property that was sold, and the amount that's owed. And you can see that from the list. And take a look at that. There's a lot of money on there, right? Tons of money. So when you look at that, you say, wow, that's pretty amazing. Well, what's that got to do with anything? Well, what we do is we get the contact information for the people. Very easy. It's internet research I can show you how to do in an hour really quick. So you do the research, get their contact information. Typically, you're going to get their social media like Facebook. You can reach out to them that way. You'll get their phone number. You can pick up the phone and call them. You get their physical address. You can send them a letter or send them a postcard. What you're doing is telling them, hey, I found a big refund that you're eligible to claim. Would you be interested in working with me? For a percentage, we'll go and claim that money for you. So we typically just call people up, give them that news. Hopefully they hire us for a percentage. Our percentage is typically 30 to 40%. And if you look at that list, like I'm pulling back up, our profit goals, we make a lot of money. Think of 30 to 40% of the kinds of monies that you're saying, it adds up to a lot, right? And it's a free country, you can charge what you want. We're between 30 and 40% depending on the size of the claim and whatever I perceive to be the complexity. We call people up, some sign up, then we go and get the money, bring it back to them, keep our percentage, give them their percentage. Really great, simple, clean business. What I like about it is it doesn't have a lot of startup costs, because what do we need to do the business? an internet connection to get the free lists like you just saw, a phone, which you probably already have anyway, and either a computer, an iPad, or a laptop so that you can pull the list down. So really minimal amount of equipment needed. I mean, heck, you can get a computer that can do this at Costco for $500 every day. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. So really low cost business to start, and you can call people on nights and weekends because let's face it, when are people home? When they're not working. So you can call them just at the times you won't be around. So you won't be at work, so just at the times they're available, you'll be available. So you call them up, some of them will sign up, you get those deals under contract, you start making some money and building up your side business, and you'll start filling your pipeline, meaning putting deals in there, because once you put a deal in, it's not a big deal or it's not difficult or time consuming to apply for the funds. Just fill in some forms and apply for it. I'll show you how to do that. It's very easy. You'll get a pipeline of deals coming in, get some cash in the bank, and that's when you have a choice. If you want to exit your regular job at that point, do it when you have some money in the bank and you have some money coming in, you have a flow to your business. And you can do that with this. Whatever side business you decide to do, here's what I really think you should think about. You don't want something where you need employees. You don't want to spend a lot of money. You don't want to drain your 401k or your savings account or borrow money from friends and family. You don't want to do that. You want to start something like this where it's more in the nature of a service business where you're doing something for someone where you're not buying inventory or leasing a space or opening a restaurant or anything like that. Don't do that. Instead, just do something where you can make calls, people say yes, and you make a big hunk of cash and just keep adding those in. And the more hunks of cash you want to make, just work on the bigger deals that you see and work on more deals. And you can expand the business. Like I've expanded the business to where I have a team of people that gets the list, a team of people that gets the contact information, a team of people that calls people up. So they're doing all that. So I manage the business. So I've grown it to that. So the business can be that. And any business that you're looking at as a side business, pick something that can grow. Pick something where you can replicate yourself so that over time, you can grow the business and get out of the day-to-day weeds and really free up your time. And I think, isn't that what we all want in life? We want to make great money, have free time, do something we find enjoyable. The other thing about enjoyable, the overages business that I do, I find very enjoyable because I help people. I'm taking people who've really been kicked hard by life. They have no money, they lost their house, and I show up and say, hey, we can get you a refund, net of our fees, you probably get $50,000 out of this, or $100,000 or more. You saw the list. There are big amounts of money on there. They are thrilled, they're excited, and we're doing good for them. So the people that hire us, we do great. Does everybody hire us? No, of course not. Lots of people never believe us, they won't do it. That's okay, that's up to them. But lots of people do believe us, they do it. So it's a great business. And it's a great business for you if you say, you know what, I'd like a business where I help people and I'm willing to make calls to people. Some people aren't going to believe me, they're just going to hang up the phone. That's okay, there's only so much I can do. If you're willing to do that, you can have a really great business. I think overages is terrific. But whatever business you choose, do not drain your bank account. Do not have something where you have a lot of overhead, you're hiring people, leasing out space. Those things that lead to real difficulties if things don't work out, and things don't always work out. So please don't do that. If you want to do the overages business, I think it's a great business. If you want to know more about it, I've recorded a short video called The Intro to the Overages Business. It's not even 10 minutes, so it's shorter than that. So you can see a link to it on the screen. You can see a link down below if you don't see it on your screen. It depends on your browser. Go click on that. I'll tell you all about the overages business. I'll give you the steps so you can get started in this business and duplicate the success that I have and just escape the corporate rat race if you want to do that, or just have a side business that can give you the financial security, the wealth, and the happiness that you truly want and truly deserve. No one should be working 24/7. No one should be at a job where they're unappreciated or they can't pay their bills. This is a route out for it. I think it's great for most people. You'll decide if it's right for you. So go watch my Intro to Overages business, and I'll see you over there, and I'll tell you more about this great business.